Developments in a case we've been tracking for years. A tentative agreement between the city of Providence and the man who was critically injured in an officer-involved moped crash has reached a deal. 12 News reporter Alex Torres-Perez joins us now live in studio with what she's learned. Alex?
Well, Mike, the details of that settlement have not been disclosed just yet, but we should know more when the proposed agreement goes before the city council for them to consider. Mediation is now complete 3 years after Jamal Gonzalez was critically injured after he slammed into a wall and a stop sign came crashing down on his head. His family sued the city and police department claiming excessive force after they say a police cruiser boxed Gonzalez in, causing the crash. The federal judge handling the case mediated the negotiations. Now, a deal between both sides has been tentatively reached.
No settlement would be finalized without approval from the Providence City Council Claim Committee.
That's when we expect to learn the details of the settlement. The federal case focuses on whether the officers involved were negligent, but the Attorney General says there's not enough evidence to criminally charge those officers. The AG says video evidence shows the cruiser never made contact with Gonzalez or the bike, but the attorney for Gonzalez questioned whether an officer used his radio to tell another officer to cut in front of the moped. Gonzalez suffered life-threatening injuries and was in a coma for several weeks. His attorney would not tell me his current condition, but a few months ago told us Gonzalez is back at home in Middletown, though he will likely feel the effects of the accident for the rest of his life. The city hopes a tentative agreement will help.
The family, has been dealing with the medical care and the impacts of that accident, and so I would imagine it would be a relief to them.
And the Gonzalez family attorney told me that they will not be commenting on this tentative settlement, and if that's not approved, a trial is supposed to be scheduled for March. Reporting live in studio, Alex Torres-Perez, 12 News.
Now a story the Target 12 investigators first broke on WPRI.com. There's a settlement in the federal lawsuit against the Providence Police Department filed by the man injured in a moped crash 3 years ago. 12 News reporter Alex Torres-Perez joins us now live in studio with what we know and what needs to happen before that deal is approved. Alex?
Well, Mike, that settlement was originally posted on the docket for the federal lawsuit against the city of Providence and the man who was critically injured in that moped crash. Details of the settlement have not been disclosed, and the mayor of Providence tells us that there are still several steps that need to take place before the deal is approved. After a years-long legal battle, a tentative agreement between the city of Providence and Jamal Gonzalez has been made, but it must first be approved by the Providence City Council Claims Committee.
There's no settlement that's ready to be presented to the council yet, and it won't be finalized until the council approves it. And that's really all I can say at this point.
The federal lawsuit claims excessive and unsafe force after a Providence police officer trailing a pack of bikers and ATV riders in the city boxed Gonzalez in, causing him to lose control and crash into a wall. The Attorney General's investigation found there was not enough evidence to criminally charge any of the officers involved in the crash. Gonzalez suffered severe head trauma that left him in a coma for several weeks. His attorney will not tell me his current condition, but a few months ago told us Gonzalez is back at home in Middletown, though he will likely feel the effects of the accident for the rest of his life. Providence Mayor Brett Smiley hopes the settlement will help.
The family has been dealing with the medical care and the impacts of that accident, and so I would imagine it would be a relief to them.
However, those details will remain private until it goes before the City Council's Claims Committee.
A final settlement, a tentative settlement, will be proposed to the City Council, and then the general public will have a chance to learn about the terms of the settlement prior to council approval at that time.
The Gonzalez family attorney told me they will not be commenting on this tentative settlement, and if it's not approved, a trial is scheduled for March. Reporting live in studio, Alex Torres-Perez, 12 News.